Howdy, folks. I'm Xena, the warrior princess.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. As you can see, we have my Wordle score up here today, so be sure to share your Wordle score with me today, too.
I did it in three.
Amber did it in 3. Mary did it in 3 yesterday.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm always impressed. It's a really fun little thing to do. So if you haven't tried Wordle, it's all the rage right now. You may as well give it a try. Let's get started. Our first letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for wearing a wedding dress to my brother's wedding?" My brother and his wife planned a winter wonderland wedding. Everyone was supposed to be dressed in either silver, white, or light blue to fit the theme. All the outfits were supposed to be dramatic. Even my brother's wife said that she didn't mind if they stand out. We were all supposed to look like rock stars. There was even a prize for the best dressed guest at the end. What a fun game, and I wanted to play along. I saw a lot of his other friends were buying expensive gowns, and they were looking gorgeous. I haven't been working so much of late, so there was no way for me to keep up with it. I had dinner with him a few months back before the wedding, and my brother suggested that I wear my own wedding gown, white and silver, since I never ended up getting married. She agrees as well because other people were going to be in white anyways. Well, the wedding came along and I wore my wedding gown. I got complimented on it all night. I pulled no focus from the bride. It was quite clearly their night. And I won the Best Dressed award. The wife was super nice the entire night, but then I didn't hear from my brother for about a week. When I went over to find out what happened, apparently his wife was extremely upset at me for wearing the wedding gown and that I ruined her big day, and that the only person who should be in a wedding dress at a wedding is the bride. She called me a lot of names, and my brother even said the way she's been talking about me, he's starting to regret marrying her. He's very protective of his siblings. I can kind of see where she's coming from, and I feel like my dress has driven this wedge between them already. The guilt is basically eating me alive. She says that I'm a jerk and that I should have known better despite her obvious reluctant confirmation. And my brother says that I'm completely fine and that I did nothing wrong. I'm torn. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not a jerk.
This situation is a very difficult one. I think that she's not the jerk for sure because like the fact is that she was invited to wear the wedding dress and so she didn't know any better. But if they were sitting around and the brother's like if he and his fiance were sitting around, fiance at the time were sitting around and he's like, "Oh, hey, you should wear your wedding gown." And OP was like, "Oh, can I?" And then the bride was like, yeah, I guess that would be okay. That might be a little bit different because it might be like a okay, but maybe I don't want to like make a scene or something like that in the moment because I can certainly eat. It's difficult because like if she wasn't like enthusiastically like, "Oh yeah, I totally want you to wear your wedding dress," then it might have just been like one of those things where she didn't feel like she had the room to say no. And that's a really sad situation if that's the case, that she just doesn't feel like she can voice her opinions around her husband. So I think that there's a little bit of nuance here, but I don't think that OP is the jerk here. I think that the that if anyone's going to have to shoulder the blame here, it's probably OP's brother because he should have actually had a conversation about that probably before even making the suggestion. And that way she could have voiced her complaints about it and not been taken by surprise by the whole thing. So I think the bride also is acting like a jerk here because she should have voiced her complaints earlier. So OP I definitely think is not the jerk, but maybe the other two probably are a little bit of a jerk. And yeah, let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, they suggested it and you got both of their approval. If this was going to be an issue, she should have said yes. Or if she wasn't comfortable saying no at the time, she could have either pulled you or your brother aside to let her know that she wasn't comfortable with it at any point in the months before the wedding. Yeah. Even better, the bride and groom decided the best dressed and OP won. I wonder at what point in time the bride decided to be mad. Well, you know what I'm kind of wondering also, that brings up the point that I kind of had in the back of my head, is that, like, maybe the bride, when she didn't realize, because like OP didn't have the wedding, so maybe she never saw pictures of this bridal dress, and maybe she wasn't aware of how like glamorous it was. And so when she shows up at the wedding, she's like, oh, because OP doesn't have a lot of money, so maybe she was like, oh, OP's probably gonna have like a low key cheap wedding dress, but then maybe she shows up in like this super glam expensive wedding dress, and she went from being okay with it at first to being like, oh no. That could also have been what happened here too, which is still not OP's problem, by the way. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for flipping out on my husband for canceling my job interview? New account because he deleted my main. So this might sound petty, but let me explain. You're a poet and you didn't know it, OP. In 2019, I could no longer work because of my physical disabilities. No company wanted to hire me for the past couple of years, and my husband said that it's better just to stay at home and not worry about working. I agreed, and he became the breadwinner. Then, it's like a switch flipped because the chores were 50-50, but after I lost my job, they became 100% on me. Keep in mind my physical disabilities that I developed. His excuse for not doing anything is that I stay home 24/7. So I told him it's not fair, especially since I suffer from physical discomfort. He made a deal with me and promised me that everything will be 50-50 once I start working again. I told him that I would find a job, and he laughed and said, Good luck! Wow, what a creep. I remember this vividly because the strange laugh that I never heard him laugh before. An evil maniacal laugh, probably, like a villain. He probably was laughing like, Good luck! That's what I have envisioned. I started looking for a job again for months, but had no luck till my friend's husband found me a potential job at a company that would have me work from home due to my physical strains. I was so excited and I felt like I'm capable again despite my struggle. They scheduled an interview with me, and when I told him, my husband looked red in the face but said nothing. Dun dun dun. 2 days ago, I found my job interview got canceled. I found out when my friend reached out to me and asked why I did that, but I said I had no idea. I checked my email and found nothing because I didn't send anything to the company. My husband came home and admitted to canceling the interview. I asked him why, and he said that this job has a lot of requirements and I don't seem to be fit to be accepted there, so spare me the terrible heartache of being rejected. He just canceled the interview. I flipped out on him and told him he destroyed my one and only chance of landing a job. But he said he was just feeling concerned about my well-being. I told him that he probably didn't want me to work because he didn't want to split the house chores, and he seemed offended by that. He threw a fit about how unreasonable and selfish I was to even consider a job without speaking to him first. What? Where did that come from? OP said that they would be looking for a job. No, no. This guy is just an absolute piece of trash. I told him I don't get involved with his work life. He called me horrible, accusing him of bad intention, and then went out to meet his friends, probably to vent because one of them told me that my husband is looking out for me, but I was being cruel to him by yelling? Like, he wasn't being cruel to her by canceling her job interview. He has been cold shouldering me since, deleted my social media accounts, claiming that they're bad for my mental health because of the negative effect that some of these platforms have. Am I the jerk for yelling at him? No. No, OP. Oh my goodness. It sounds like a terrible situation for you. I just can't even. Like, this is pretty much like divorce worthy
Yeah, wrong.
offenses. Like,
This is abuse
yeah,
101.
this is abusive, bad behavior. And like, he did this to sabotage you. He didn't do this because he was looking out for your well being. He likes this arrangement, and that's just kind of gross. Like, he doesn't want to see you get better. He doesn't want to see you improve. He just wants to see you stay at home and do chores all day, even if it causes you physical discomfort, right? He doesn't want what's best for you. He wants a personal servant. So, yeah, I mean, if the thing is this, like, point out I would point out that like if you two have a additional income, then potentially you can hire someone to take care of chores around the house, right? So in a lot of ways, he's just sabotaging himself because you two, like, it doesn't cost that much. I guess probably depends on where you are to hire someone to come to your house and do cleaning, once a week or something like that, right? And so there are certainly chores that can be taken care of cheaply and quickly that you do not need to do. And again, like, it may even be in your best interest anyways to hire someone who can do chores, even if like this is like if it causes you physical discomfort, because you really shouldn't be doing stuff that's causing you like massive amounts of physical discomfort, right? So yeah, I think that this is a horrifying situation, and I think that your husband very well was not looking out for you at all here, and he's just kind of a trash human being to do this. To delete your social media accounts without your consent, to delete your,
Sounds like he's trying to cut her off from
yeah, this
everything.
is like classic abuse behavior where you get isolated out and then you can't OP, just go and stay with your parents or something. This is awful. Not the jerk. New account because they deleted my main. I just had to read this one line to know that this was not going to be you in the wrong. Exactly. This man has extreme control issues. Run. He should be lifting you up and encouraging your growth and happiness, not beating you down when you try to do something that makes you happy. Hope you realize that you deserve so much better. Same. I read the first line and I was like, get out! OP, this man has red flags as far as the eye can see. Run. Not the jerk. Alright, let's pause for a second for tea time. Maybe even a super silly joke. So, I'm gonna tell you a joke, and in during that joke time, you can guess what kind of tea I have. So, Amber, what kind of tea do you got today?
Well, I had mint tea, but I drank it all.
Amber drank all of her mint tea, so you can't blame me for her not having tea.
Yes, it's my own fault. I'm drinking water now.
Amber is now drinking water. Yesterday, I think Mary was drinking Diet Coke, and June was drinking a Golden Eagle. So, some nice beverages to choose from. What is French for an idiot? Lagoon. Speaking of goons, and well, I mean, I guess there is a goon in this story. There is a goon in this story. All right, yeah, lagoon. Yes, we have a good transition now. I too am drinking mint tea. Our next story is titled "Am I a Jerk for Kicking Out My Daughter?" Since the day she was born, me, a 49-year-old female, and my daughter, a 26-year-old female, have had an amazing relationship. Her brother was in a horrible car accident when he was 8, leaving him fully paralyzed. Their father left because of the medical expenses, leaving our family in debt. This meant that I had to work many late-hour jobs. Let's call my daughter Haley and my son Noah. Haley had taken care of Noah despite being 3 years old. I have always reminded Haley of how grateful I am for her help that she didn't have to do if she didn't want to. But being a great sister that she is, she continued to take care of him until he passed away when she was 24. Now this matters because recently me and Haley have been arguing. My daughter met a boy, we will call him Jaden, and they started dating. When I first met Jaden, he was an absolute sweetheart and was such a help around the house. Fast forward to about 6 months or so, my daughter convinced me to let Jaden live with us. They informed me that they were both saving up for an apartment together even though Haley was still in medical school, which was the reason why I was letting her live here in the house. Immediately, though, when Jaden moved into the house, things went wrong. All he did was eat my food, play video games, and sit around the house all day long. My last straw was when I found the source of the rancid smell in the house. Jaden had been soiling the couch with his pee. That's right, folks. There's our goon. I told Haley that Jaden has to go. She told me that she was in love with him and that I would regret this. It was unbelievable in my mind. I sat them both down and had a talk about what was going on. Either Jaden left our house or both of them did. Haley was enraged and screamed at me, saying that she did everything for me as taking care of Noah. I was fighting back tears when I told her to get out immediately and she wasn't welcome here anymore. So am I the jerk for kicking out my daughter? This is kind of a sad one. The whole situation here. This is terrible. I mean, OP OP had a really tough decision. Like, the daughter did a wonderful thing and she was a saint when she was growing up. And Jaden just sounds like a layabout. He does not sound like a good person. And I honestly, hopefully someday she matures enough to see that Jaden really is just not worth it. But for now, this is it. Love, as they say, love is blind, or love blinds. Yeah, love blinds, right? And that's the trouble, is that she just does not see him for what he is. And right now, he is her whole world. And in all likelihood, she spent probably her whole childhood and whatnot caring for him, her brother rather, and didn't have much of a life or dates or anything like that. And so she has now the ability to kind of grow outward, right? And that basically has probably made her even more. She probably one views this Jaden as someone she can fix and mold and help him grow, right? And the reality is that Jaden's not going to change the way that he is, right? In all likelihood. So I think that this is just kind of a sad situation where she just does not have the mental maturity right now to kind of deal with this. So yeah, I feel bad for you, OP. This was a horrible situation that you were put in, and I think that you made the best decision that you could. And I'm sorry that your daughter wouldn't see things more reasonably, but you have a you, you shouldn't have to worry about having your couch peed on. You shouldn't have to come home and this is enough to kick anyone out of the house, right? There's a list of things that you cannot do and that will get you kicked out of places, and pee on people's stuff is one on that list, probably at the very top, right? So no, OP, I can't say that you're a jerk for kicking Jaden out. She chose to leave to go with him. That's her choice, right? So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. None of the rest of the details matter. Someone is peeing on your sofa, not the jerk. Is he peeing himself on the couch or standing in front of it to urinate? I'm so confused.
I know. I had so many questions about
I
that.
have so many. My guess is that he's just too lazy to get up to go to the bathroom, and he just kind of soils himself while he's sitting around playing video games and watching television. I'm hoping, I mean, not that there's a good silver lining to either situation. I guess if he's standing up to pee in the couch, at least it's a conscious, I'm doing this for a particular reason, whatever weird messed up reason it is. But if he's so lazy that he can't even get up to relieve himself, that's a whole different issue at hand, right? I mean, it's not good. There's two answers to this, and they're both horrifying in their implications. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.